Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Mr. Mom Plays Games, and today we're going to be going over a couple of tips and things you may or may not know about this video game. So, if you guys enjoy, please subscribe, like, and share this video. And if you guys want to see more content like this, leave down in the comments down below what kind of things you guys are looking for this game. All right, so one thing that I didn't know this, but you can go to your audio and use SteamBot language. Now, this is actually kind of interesting. Go ahead, enable it, play through the story, because it's only the dialogue that this takes a part of. And tell me if it's not just the same thing in English or whatever your language of choice is, but reverse and just sped up. It sounds like a demonic record player where people swear they can hear hidden messages. It's pretty funny. And it just I felt like there might have been a little bit more to that. They could have done some more, but it's still really cool. If you guys didn't know about it, you guys can check it out. It's pretty cool. When you launch a rocket in each one of these maps on balance, casual, or difficult, you unlock a perk, right? Something to help you out the next time you play. This one right here for the basic starter map, you can get the train arrives faster, and the train store has a mega sale. Now this one and this one right here, free item chance in the train store and additional item slots. The item slots really cool. But these two right here, okay, with the train being faster, it's good, right? And it has a mega sale, and this one has a free item chance. The problem with all that is the fact that when I'm down in the mines, I don't care about the train. If there's devs or anybody who works on this game watching this video randomly, can we please get a jump to train icon button thing so when we are, say, in the mines fighting for our life, we could switch over quickly? That would be super helpful, and no lies, that would be great. Thank you. All right, so my favorite one so far is free roads and conveyor belts because of the fact that you get free roads and conveyor belts, and when you hit scientists or conveyor belts in general, they're super clutch because they're expensive. This will save you the most resources and be able to upgrade faster without having to worry about, like, how many, Steam bots you have grinding, parts to make conveyor belts and all that. It just makes everything so much easier. More tumbleweeds and the grant extra reward. That's probably pretty good if you are sitting at the screen searching for them. Personally, I barely notice them sometimes. Maybe I'd like a little sparkle to them. Maybe I'll find them a little easier, and I do think they have a sparkle, but it doesn't catch my eye, right? This one I haven't gotten yet. This is my last map. In fact, we're gonna be playing this on Twitch. Go over to Twitch, guys. Mr. Mom Live over at Twitch TV. Go hit a follow. You get notifications when I go live. I play a lot of different type of city games, FPSs, even EVE Online, as you guys can tell by my content. Go check it out, guys. It's a free follow. Hey, listen, it's free entertainment if you guys like city buildings and enjoy my kind of content. Now, I am a new YouTuber / old Twitch streamer, so a lot of my stuff is in stream format. I don't do a lot of editing. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to do this. I'm also a full-time stay-at-home dad, so my time is, well, not a lot of it. So I can't spend like 5 hours editing for one video. But hey, you know what? That doesn't mean that can't happen. Just maybe once we get, a bigger audience and, bigger live streams, we could start investing a little bit more time and money into it and, doing that. But yeah, so if you guys want to see what the future holds on this YouTube Twitch streamer, hit me that sub and go over to Twitch and hit me that follow. All right, guys. So we haven't gotten this one. This one I'm excited for because it's faster miners and fewer tiles. The fewer tiles, I believe, is going to be the clutch, right? Faster miners, honestly, they mine fast enough for me now. I could imagine them being faster. I just build 10, and 10 seems to be the magical number. And yeah, so, okay, yeah. But the fewer tiles required, I like that idea because half my base is just like covered in tiles, and I'm just like, okay, I can't do anything, which is something you don't want to do if you're doing conveyor belts, you should always do conveyor belts, by the way. All right, so I built a little map here, a little layout here to give you guys a good visual on some things. Now, maybe I'm incorrect about this one part, but we went ahead and put some general stores here. And on the dirt road, it goes up to this red barrel. It's not too far, right? Now, the concrete goes up to this red barrel. I mean, that's a good, I mean, what? The 35, 40% increase, right? That's pretty impressive. But what throws me for a loop is this one. You only gain that much? I mean, maybe that's wrong. Maybe that's a bug. I mean, heck, we could try to even add more road, and it still doesn't matter, right? I mean, that is as far as it goes. And I feel like that is not worth it. So maybe there's another perk. Yes, your Steam bots are faster. They're pretty fast on this, I'm not going to lie. I noticed the fastness when they're on this one compared to these two. So maybe that's where the big clutch comes in. But for the distance-wise, I mean, yeah, if you're slow playing it, you could just stay on concrete. To be honest, I don't see the biggest thing to rush for those roads. All right, so now we're gonna go real quick into the worker, the Steambots types, and what they build and what they like. There's one in question out of all these, but I went ahead and broke them down for you guys, what they need next to them and what they can build. So we're gonna start off with the workers. Let's just put it as simple as it is. This is like city skylines, right? You got your residential, your industrial, your leisure, and then your rich millionaires, right? That kind of style. So we're going to start off with our blue workers, our poor people who are just, first job, maybe not many skills. So here we are. Here's the workers. They just need a general store, right? Pretty, this actually kind of reminds me of my town where I live. This is pretty much my town. We're very simple. So, general store, service shop. Simple. These guys are just simple. I love it. They're foresters, and they could take that forester and turn them into lumber mill. I would keep these two together, guys. Obviously, less trips, quicker product. Cactus farms. Yeah, farmers, right? Charcoal. I mean, you pay a millionaire to do that, they're going to laugh at you, right? So these are what they can do. These two to go together. Boom, boom, boom. Now, this one right here, you have to place the fields, and you have to arrange them. So you can kind of mess with that and with your streets and all that kind of stuff. Pretty cool. You can kind of put one around each side, make it smaller. It's all up to you guys. Now we're going to go into the engineers. These guys, they have some college, right? They got some college. Some plumbers, some electricians, they got some IT stuff going on, trade school. All right, they need a saloon. I mean, they work hard, right? They need to get drunk. Surveyor office, I mean, they're upgrading stuff, they're land surveying, right? Burgers, office, come on. I mean, I don't even know what food they get. That's kind of, well, yeah, that's not really fast food though. But yeah, so they get a burger place. This is what they like next to them. Okay. This makes them happy on the strip. That's why I put a road here. If you guys haven't noticed, all these have a road because these are meant to be on the same road as them. And then these can be put wherever. Now, I'm going to give you guys a little tip about these guys real quick after this, and maybe it would help you guys out. So the workers here can make moonshine, right? Still really feel like that would be the workers' territory. But so they make Moonshiner. It takes 4 items. It takes a sand shifting factory, which has to be around nothing else. Just like the forester, you want to spread them out as tightly as you can without changing the fertility. And that can include roads, warehouses. Late game, it doesn't really seem to affect them too much. But if they're already like on the edge of fertility, they'll just start dropping. And then at the end of the game, you have like a 30%. So you're going to be like, wow, I'm dropping in sand or trees, and I don't know why. Well, that's kind of the reason why, because you're putting too much next to them. And these guys need some space. And one thing about this game, space is not the best. Glass blower, obviously, the bottles, right? Moonshiner, this is the guy who actually makes it, right? And then once again, we have the cactus farm, which these guys work on. These guys can also make tools, which is a very high priority item. So is charcoal. And then we have pickaxe maker. Now, I've only made one, and this seems to work to unlock the next material to be able to do the mine shafts. Yeah, I don't. It just seems to unlock it. I don't know. I've never had any problem of like not having enough. So, sheet metal, another one of those high priority ticket items. So tool maker and this right here, you have to wait on them to do bridges, to do convoy belts if you don't have that thing unlocked. Just a lot of things, turrets, all that kind of stuff. That is what you need. And then spare part maker, yeah, it's a pretty average item, basic, right? And then they also can do cattle farm. Once again, like the cactus farm, you place these little fields around it. This one's much bigger. Now, here's a cool little tip. Okay, now this is what I do. Okay, I've been making a lot of money in this game. So what I kind of try to do is take the cactus farm, right? And I import the cactus farm from the train. So you can buy cactus water. Okay. I will also take moonshine, right? So the moonshine is all these 4 items. That is a lot of space, especially this cactus farm, right? So we could reduce all that and just cut this whole line out. I always keep one just to keep it going, right? Just to, just have it there. And then what I will also do is I will go to sand. Now, I do about 50 just to keep the supplies going, and I will do robo stakes. Now, there's one other thing, and I will do is the purified water, but we'll get into that one. Actually, we'll add it to our list. But yeah. So that will eliminate these 4 buildings. You just got to make sure you cactus farm because it is used and your charcoal is used. You still might have to build a couple of charcoal because the train just won't bring enough all the time. And now we're going to get into these guys right quick. These guys are the Aristobots, right? These are like high class, right? These guys are like, well, we'll let their buildings tell you who they are. Waxing shop, right? They like to look pretty. Sheriff's office. They got some nice stuff. They want it protected. Hat maker. They like to look pretty. Fine dining. They like to eat pretty. Casino. They got a lot of money, right? Gunsmith. Because they want to protect people trying to steal their stuff. Especially if the sheriff ain't going to show up, right? I mean, pretty basic, right? They got some nice stuff and they want their protection, but they want to show they have money too at the same time, right? So these are what you need to build around them in the radius to make them happy. Now, what they can build is oil refinery, a diesel plant. These go, side by side essentially. Glass wool spinner. That's for the hats. Steam furnace is an interesting one. Okay, so we're gonna drag this guy kind of out right here. Okay, this guy can be used next to, so it says can be used to boost buildings and refineries, right? But it also boosts trees, farms, pretty much anything in this area, right? So we're going to take this area. It boosts it. On this side, we're going to put it on this side. It boosts it. So you guys kind of catch a drift. Not this side. Well, okay. So this is what we're kind of talking about. I don't think it should be doing this. I think this is a bug, but technically this does work. Okay. So you can see a 25 efficiency, 25 efficiency, but you could tell it only did one of the buildings there, and then it does not. So anything they sell, I think, which is kind of weird because the hat makers technically sell, it's kind of confusing. So this one I would definitely look into, guys. Mess around with that one. It is definitely interesting how that one works, but 25%, especially you have fertility dropping and stuff like that, you can put it next to your trees and it will just boost them up. 25 per building, therefore you can get 100% whole extra item for each 4. So keep that in mind. I mean, it's a kind of a free building for one little thing. And the thing got some range, okay? All right, so black powder is part of the gun collection. So we're going to put that guy there, and then we're going to put this guy here, right? So sulfur and black powder, once again, hand in hand. And then we have the unlock for the next mine, for the blue mine. So the way to break it down, guys, is worker, dusty cave. Your engineers, gonna kind of be marshy, right? And your Aristobots, okay? Your Aristobots. Your scientists start popping out of this thing because of this right here. This Vectron scrap is very important, right? Now, we'll get into the scientists right now, and then I'll leave you guys one other little tip. All right, so here's the scientist. There's no room over there, so the scientists, they're a bunch of nerds, right? They're very smart. Ooh, tumbleweed. University, they like books. Art studio, they're very smart. I don't know why this one's there. I've been trying to think of a good reason why this is here. They're just smart. I don't know if they'll express themselves all the best, right? You ever seen a real smart person get in a fight? They outwit them, or they just don't engage. I don't know. They're not social. So an art studio, I don't see that being used by a lot of smart people, but they're probably super rich, right? So they just have random art. So maybe that's the connection. Telescope, 100%. Come on. A nerd with a telescope is, yeah. I mean, so many analogies. Yeah. E equals MC square. I mean, the university, right? Oh, I put the university twice. I apologize. That actually makes a little bit more sense. Large stuff collider, right? This is yeah, this was actually in a recent show. It's really cool. But anyways, yeah, so this is a service. And like I said, any of these that say service are pretty much services for the most part. That's how you know it goes next to them. All right, so the scientists. All right. Lab equipment manufacturer, glass blower. Once again, that glass blower and the sand is back, right? Now, if we brought those in like we did earlier, and that's kind of where one of the kind of downside comes in. So we brought in all of this stuff, right? Sand, but we do not have glass blowing. So this right here, we can delete that one, and you can bring in either water to top off on the being clean, or you can bring in the glass blowing, which you will need, but you don't need a lot of it. So yeah, you kind of have to play around with this last one. That's kind of the tricky one. And then, so yeah. So once again, glass blowing and sand. The retrofit shop actually takes your scraps from down below and lets you turn it into the actual parts, which everything seems to take parts in this game, right? At the around the scientist area. Oil paint factory obviously supplies to paint, and the oil refinery, which kind of funny how this turns oil into paint. I don't know how it works in real life, but these are going to be next to each other as well. At least I put them together because they're both purple, right? But they do go hand in hand. You're going to need a lot more of this oil refinery because it does step into a lot of different places. And then this is your final product. I only do one, but your scientists have to be 100% for this to work. So if you guys are making the fuel and you're like, dude, it's not progressing, well, you probably have some pissed off scientists. So I would look into that and try to figure out what's going on. So right here, we're going to go ahead and go over the workers. So we have our regular miners, our prospects, our combat, and then we have our builder and healers, right? So these guys are just your basic miners, right? The prospects, they actually do that bubble gum stuff in the caves. The fuel and the bubble gum looking bubbles, they actually farm those. Red is combat. It's just like it says, combat. The green are the ones that will build buildings and repair buildings as well, and they'll revive your combat. Now, when I'm done with the cave, what I like to do is keep 5 of the green. And if I have turrets, I don't need any combat. So I'll just do full prospectors and 5 green while holding down the area where the last item is, wherever you dig up a part for the rocket, you can have random spawns there. And so I like to camp it with like thump thumps and guns, and they'll never make it out. They die really easily. And then these guys will just come by, heal up anything that does get damaged, while the prospectors are taking their full force and farming your fuel and your purple bubblegum looking stuff. And it helps with tiles reduction. And real quick, with that said as well, what I like to do is leave a little in between. So right here, you cannot take a conveyor belt through this. What you can do is just shift it onto there and your convoy belts. And what I like to do normally all the time is I'll kind of make, well, let's kind of try. I'm trying to do this real quick. I did not set this part up and I didn't think about it. I will always leave this kind of gap at the beginning of things, just so I can have enough space for the conveyor belts. And then once our conveyor belts are down, then I'll go ahead and fill them in. I'll just be like, okay, boom, 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 fill them in, because the conveyor belts will go to here. This is one tower, and you can just use one conveyor belt, guys. You can mix all your assets. It does not matter. You can put water on the coal and this and that. It does not matter. It goes straight to the top. It is very, very cool. And when you're done with, say, here, and normally I'd be building with the conveyor belts here. Here's where you unlock the conveyor belts. And what I'll do when I'm at a good point here, I'll actually go back and I will get all of the belts put down, and then I'll delete all my extra units and then clean it up there. And so when I pre-plan everything, I'll pre-plan it with some space for all the conveyor belts. So like I said, the train, you can import things. That's probably gonna be one of the biggest things. And what you can do right when you hit this last mine, as you could tell, you have this Veltron scrap. I would try to make a couple of combat units and stuff like that. But every time you get blocked in this, you can also just use the train to say import those items. When you need scientists, you have to do this, you have to do that. What I like to do is bring in Veltron scrap. Not much of it, but like I said, you're making a lot of money and you can pretty much afford it. And you can still do the sand shifting. So if you want to say you don't mind the cactus, right? You're like, you know what? I could do cactus, right? You can bring in Velcron scrap, and when you're on that last level and spike your scientists and all that kind of stuff, just to unlock the roads, you can get that much quicker. And then all of a sudden you're spiking through the scientists. And the last part right here, always get the rubies, always worth it. You get a lot of money. I like the global storage and the multiple deliveries. One thing you'll notice is that if you compact a lot of your stuff, you have slow deliveries. So having multiple deliveries is very good. Now, when you're in, mostly it starts here. You don't need combat units for this one. The first cave, you don't need combat. There's no combat. It's very small. The marshy ruins, combat, yes. I would, as soon as you guys can, if you could buy it, get the flamethrower. The flamethrower is OP for clearing almost everything. You will have to put down a little thump. If you see a little circle, a little thing that says miner has been eaten, you actually have to put down a thumper and keep it there. Once you remove that thumper, that little worm can come back out and start eating your dudes again. The thumper will suppress those worms, so you just have to keep it there. And yeah, so that's pretty much my little tips and tricks of this game. This is what I've learned over the time. There's probably a couple other ones And yes, you can put as many landmarks as you want. It does not matter. As long as I would not start off with them. And if I had this one, I'd add it to it. But they are pretty big, but their rewards are pretty big. And they are expensive to start with, but they're not going to be difficult to get, as you play. So, yes. So thank you guys for everything. Once again, guys, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share the video. And if you guys enjoyed this video, guys, let me know. Also, check out my live stream, Mr. Mum Live, over on Twitch. Go hit me a follow over there. I play a lot of different games. And if there's a game you guys want to see me play, guys, throw it in the comments. I do read comments. I'm not that big of a YouTuber to ignore them, right? I read every comment. I may not reply to every single one because I don't always have to. Sometimes I don't know if it's a statement or a question, right? But what other games would you guys like to see me play? Let me know in the comments down below. And like always, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful day. And until next time, peace.